Master.
Hi everyone, Sneemaster here with a brief review of the Misc Razer series. The Razer is a racing and scouting ship that incorporates Xi'an technology. That technology makes it sleeker and faster than other racing ships. There is the base Razer, which is good all around, the Razer EX, which is a stealth variant, and the Razer LX, which is a dedicated racing ship variant. The Razer is a small ship, only 11 meters long and 8 meters wide with a crew of 1. The cockpit is cramped, which makes sense for a racing ship, and has just 3 MFDs. Visibility is pretty good, but there are 2 struts on the side, and if you look up, another big strut above you. They don't completely block your view, but can sometimes get in the way if you're flying fast. There is a big horizontal wing in front that looks somewhat unaerodynamic, but doesn't seem to affect your flight. All Razer variants have one size 1 hydrogen fuel tank, one size 1 quantum fuel tank, and one size 1 quantum drive. They have a special Proteus fuel intake system with dual intake so it can recharge and boost quicker to make up for the smaller hydrogen fuel tanks. The quantum drive doesn't have a long range, but you can install longer range drives to extend that range as much as possible. If you need a longer range, then you might want to load the Razer on a larger ship that can carry it. The Razer and Razer EX have a combat speed of 252 meters a second, with a max speed of 1,345 meters a second. The Razer LX has an overclocked engine for a combat speed of 272 meters a second and max speed of 1,400 meters a second. All variants have one size 1 shield generator, although the EX has a stealth shield variant with less power but also less noticeable on radar. The base and LX come with a C-grade competition shield. Nothing fancy, so you might want to upgrade it as soon as you can. That single shield generator is not going to hold up much against weapons, so make sure to fly fast and dodge. All variants have 2 fixed size 2 weapons under the body, laser repeaters on the Razer, ballistic scatterguns on the EX, and laser cannons on the LX. You can place gimbals on them with smaller size 1 guns if you want gimbal guns, but with the speed and maneuverability of the Razer series, that might be a bit of a waste. The 2 size 2 guns work really well against other small targets. Both the Razer and the EX have 2 size 1 missile hardpoints, with 1 missile each, located between the guns on the bottom. The LX doesn't have any missiles because it got the overclocked engine. 2 single size 1 missiles won't do much damage against other ships, but might be enough to get out of a dangerous situation or drop the shields on a small ship. They can also be useful against ground targets which have less shielding and health. There are no beds and there is no cargo capacity. The Razer is purely focused on speed. There is no stowage capacity right now either, although I think CIG will add external gun and gear stowage in the future. The Razer ships are considered snub-sized craft, so you can summon them at Platinum Bay outposts. They are small, so they will also fit in hangars designed for snub craft, as well as the occasional cargo ship cargo bay. One big issue is the default power supply on the Razer that has just barely enough power to run the ship. If you push the engines or guns too hard, then some systems will shut down, like your cooling system, which can cause other ship components to overheat and break. That's really bad when in combat or flying in atmosphere, so make sure to upgrade the power supply to something beefy before you first fly the ship. Possibly get a tougher shield too. The price of the Razer is $145. The EX is $155, and the LX is $150, all on time-limited sales. You can also buy all the variants in-game for about 1.8 million credits, more or less. The base Razer is also rentable at the New Deal shop in Lorville for 52,000 credits a day. These aren't cheap ships to buy or rent for their size, but are probably expensive on purpose due to scarcity of the ship in lore. The base Razer comes with a blue and black paint scheme. The EX has a dark gray paint, and the LX is white with black trim. You can also buy the polar paint with white and gray for $9, or the Stormbringer paint with dark gray, blue, and white accents for $6. All variants of the Razer are good for racing, but the base Razer is also decent for light combat, while the EX is good at sneaking around. I don't have numbers to determine how stealthy the EX is, but between the special hull and low emission shields and small size, it should be significant. For sheer speed though, the LX variant is the best. The Razer is great for scouting and light hit-and-run attacks, both on ships and ground targets. Fleets could use Razers to search ahead of the main fleet to find targets or intercept light vehicles or incoming torpedoes. In 318, you can use the Razer to scout ahead new targets to salvage, even if they aren't wrecks yet, if you get what I mean. If you have large enough ships to carry them, you could load many Razers on board to swarm enemy targets. Razers would also work well with pirate orgs for scouting and stalking prey. Obviously, racing orgs can also take good advantage of the ship series both for the speed, small size, and maneuverability over many other ships on racetracks. They are small and take little space in hangars, plus I don't know of any ship that is faster. A ship like the Hercules or Caterpillar can easily fit 3 or 4 Razers in it, perfect for a racing team. The new racetracks in 318 will make the Razer especially useful now. When it comes to combat, the Razer doesn't have tons of firepower, but it is nimble enough to dodge weapon fire, if you're careful, and does enough damage to ships. The capacitors on the size 2 guns can hold up long enough to take out small fighters quickly, although it could take a few passes to take out a larger ship, like a cutlass. Just remember to dodge and stay away from the guns of other ships, especially ones with turrets. The single light shield isn't very tough, but the Razer is quick enough to get out of harm's way and agile enough to keep your guns pointed on the target while you're doing so. Even ships with higher shields will struggle against a Razer, since it's easy to always keep your guns whittling away on the enemy ship, preventing their shields from regenerating. If you have Razers in a fleet with a ship with EMP, then it can do amazing damage once the enemy ship is disabled. You can also use Razers to harass slower ships, or at least keep their shields from regenerating, while the other bigger ships do the main damage. I have to admit, for the price of the Razer, there are others that can do a similar job for cheaper and are easier to find, whether it's scouting, fighting, or racing. The main competitor to the Razer is the Origin M50, which is quite a lot cheaper, but also slightly slower at 246 meters a second for combat speed. It has the same weaponry and twice the shields as the Razer. The Anvil Arrow is also fairly fast at 200 meters a second and has both more guns and missiles than the Razer. So really, the only main benefits of the Razer over others are the speed and stealth, depending on the variant. The Razer LX is the fastest ship in the verse for racing. The EX stealth variant, due to components and small size, is probably the stealthiest ship around, better or equal to the Eclipse bomber. If you need something really fast or really quiet, then the Razer variants work. The base Razer is decent overall, so it's good at multiple roles, but not the best at either. But if you put a tough shield and power supply on it, then it performs very well in combat. It really depends on what you need out of a ship. I can't deny the sheer speed of all Razer variants over other ships is exhilarating. One more note, I recommend using dual joysticks to fly the Razer, since keyboard and mouse or even HOTAS can sometimes struggle to keep up with the maneuvering needed in racing or combat with this feisty ship. The ship is so fast and you need to dodge a lot to keep from getting damage, so you will need to accelerate and decelerate very quickly. Turn often, as well as strafe often due to the single small shield and fixed guns. Racing at the high speeds of the Razer requires very quick maneuvers to prevent getting damage, since any little thing can make the Razer explode. A head tracking device would also be useful when flying the ship, since you don't have much time to turn your view, even with a mouse, when flying so fast. Turning your head is much quicker to look around than using buttons or keys, so any of the head tracking systems out there would help keep you from crashing and keep the enemies in view. Alright, so that's it for the Misc Razer review. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. You can use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you'll get 5,000 extra in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons. I have a Patreon going for $3 a month. All patrons will have their names listed at the end of my videos and get first pick on the next item I'll cover. So feel free to sign up and let me know what you'd like to see next. Okay, catch you all next time.